I'm finally getting around to make this this video. So some of you may know I've had a few times where I've been having challenges with the iPhones. Now I've drunk the iPhone or the Apple Kool-Aid. You see there, I've got a Mac that I do some of my videos on. While I'm bored, I sit there and I watch an iPad. I've got a Mac Pro laptop there, and I've got multiple iPhones, and my daughter's got iPhones and stuff like that too. So one of the issues I've been having is, I can't remember when I did this, but this is an iPhone 7 in a life-proof case. It's kind of pretty cool little case here, and this is primarily what I use to make a lot of my videos with. And I think it was maybe even before Christmas time period where all of a sudden the home button stopped working. And apparently this is a common thing because I talked to somebody else and they've got one, but it comes up with a little fix. It comes up with a virtual home button there, so you can see that it's there, and it's always kind of a pain. It never seems to be in a good spot, especially when you go to take a photo. Miss tons and tons of photo opportunities as I will hit the see, I can't even do it now, as I'll hit the camera and then I'll rotate and watch it. It'll probably go, yep, see, it'll go right there where the photo button is. So instead of taking a picture, I will close it, and then I've lost my opportunity. So anyway, I'm glad that they have a way that when you lose your home button you can still do this, but also I'm not able to do my thumbprint ID and all the other types of things. So although they do the home button as a workaround, I tried to get this fixed, and I spent several hours on the phone with an Apple representative. And so this was probably late Christmas when I finally had time off, and we were able to finally determine that there is no Apple store at the time. There's no Apple store in Korea, which seemed really crazy to me. But then when you think about it, really this is LG and I think Samsung territory. So I do admit though that I was surprised that there was no Apple store even in Seoul. So, but there is multiple places where they have Apple authorized repair stores. So they gave me a list of those, and I determined which ones were sort of close to me. And so anyway, long story short, during the Lunar New Year, I finally had some time off, and I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and get this fixed. But what really motivated me to get the phone fixed is during that time period, my daughter's phone, she dropped it in some water, and we tried the rice trick, and we tried it. It was for several weeks. We thought it would dry out and fire back up, but it never did. So we went through the process of trying to get that phone repaired, which was a pretty rigorous. So we tried, with my daughter's phone, we tried several times to try to take it to an Apple store, and it kept coming back down to that. Luckily, we did have it insured, and it was not in the Apple warranty, but the insurance did cover damage like this, so we got pretty lucky. So the first time learning curve is always kind of a pain. But we kept being directed to a website, and we went to that website, and I'll have some of the website here and then a couple of the forms. So one of the forms that was a challenge because, hey, this is 2018 and I personally don't have a printer, and I've been able to do pretty much most everything by some type of a digital signature, so you don't really necessarily have to print things out and then you can send it back, or there's some other options, and you can wait till you do find a printer, and then you can just hand sign it, and then nowadays your phone will let you take a picture of it, and you just digitize it, scan it basically, and then you can email it back to them, and that everything's good to go. But anyway, the insurance company that Apple uses requires you to do an affidavit, I guess, so you can make sure that you're not doing some type of fraud, and it was not a fillable form. But my 14-year-old daughter, she was able to outsmart that. So I emailed it to her. She was able to fill the whole thing out, and then she emailed it back to me, and then on the screen there was a way that I could actually put it on the iPad, and I could use my finger and act like a signature, so it's just like a regular signature. And then we saved it, and we were able to upload that to the insurance website, and then from there things actually went pretty smooth. It wasn't too many days, I think less than a week, maybe 3 or 4 days, she received her new phone. We were able to, with a new SIM card, and we were able to activate it and go through the process through a teleconference between my daughter and I. So she's in North Carolina, I'm here in South Korea. We were able to activate her phone and get it up and running. And then she did her part. She was able to send it back to Apple, and then I received another email confirmation saying, hey, everything is activated and we've received your old phone and everything was good to go. So that part went pretty well. And so all of that motivated me to go ahead and get my button gear, basically, and to go see if I can get my phone fixed or repaired. So I went to one of the places that was close to me, and I went during the lunar holiday, and should have known better. And actually I did know better, because I avoided going during the actual lunar holiday, but I went and tried to go on the weekend, and I went on a Sunday. So it may have been open on a Saturday, but it was closed on Sunday. But luckily it happened at a time where I had some leave, and I went back, I think it was that Monday. And so anyway, I'll talk through the video here where I went through the ANTZ repair store in Cheonan, which is at the Lotte Mall in Cheonan. It was up on the top floor, and they were very nice and very helpful. But I went through the dilemma that they insisted that I damaged my phone, and so we ran into some friction. Okay, so I'm finally out on the road, and I was very curious to see, because the Waze took me a different route this time. And look what I see along the ways. You may not recognize, but this is it looks like an actual Rocky Mountain elk. So here in Korea, they tend to have these elk here where they'll harvest their antlers. But anyway, I finally made it back over to the Lotte Mall in Cheonan, and this time they were actually open. So I got up to the top floor, and I went on in, and first thing you do when you go to the waiting room is you pull a number. And so I thought 159. I didn't know how long that's going to be, but I don't know what their system is. But I wasn't there very long, and then they called me up. And then what they did is they took me to another guy, and he went through all this other stuff. They assigned me to a technician, and at that point he was pretty determined that he wanted to take my phone apart, and my feeling was that they wanted to charge me to do the work on my phone, and that's what I just didn't want to do. I didn't want to take my phone apart. So anyway, before I could go much further, one of their managers could tell I was rather frustrated, and he just did mention, kind of out of the blue, he's like, oh, by the way, there is an actual Apple store in Korea now. And I said, no, there isn't. He's like, yeah, there is. And turns out, I guess it opened up right at the end of January. So it had only been open a few weeks, and so I was pretty excited. So he gave me the address, and was able to pull their hours for me. So I got back in the truck and headed on that way. So, oh my God, you're not going to believe this. I'm actually made it to the Apple store in Seoul, which is a brand new Apple store. And I've got this problem with my home button on the iPhone 7 that I told you about a couple months ago. So I didn't know there's an Apple store here. So I finally found an Apple store, and they're telling me that I can't get my US iPhone serviced here in Korea, that I need to mail it back home. So that seems really crazy. So it totally looks like an Apple store. Sounds like an Apple store, feels like an Apple store, but I guess you can't bring US Apple products here, at least at the moment, to get fixed. So this is just crazy. Well, I made it to the new Apple store, which is a very cool store. Unfortunately, they couldn't help me get my phone fixed. So I guess I'm still back to either going back to the US or whatever. I don't understand it. Gil, the manager that I talked to there, said he couldn't explain it to me. It's just that there's some rules. I don't know if it's Korean law or if it's Apple law, but you cannot take your iPhones there to be repaired. So I guess I'll have to send it back to Best Buy. I think I have a warranty insurance plan with them anyway. So it's a bummer. It's a cool looking store. Here I am in Gangnam, like Gangnam style. And they're open pretty good hours until 10 p.m. But I just had bad luck. The other thing that was a bummer, the disappointment with the Apple Store, is I also, when I traded in my old phone and bought this this iPhone 7, they gave me a gift card, an Apple gift card, but I tried to use that here too, and I couldn't use that because it's not in won, it's in US dollars. So that's a problem, something I never thought of about being in another country. It just baffles me that they can't fix my phone. That would be, to me, that would be like taking my Chevy car that I bought in the US, that I couldn't take it to a Korean Chevy dealer, even though that might be, maybe that's something that's common for a lot of products. It's not that the name that you're buying, it's more the location.